Hi, I'm Andy Schmuckler, and I want to propose a speech to the nation that President Biden should give between now and the election. It would be attacked as a partisan thing to do. But in fact, it is arguable, and the president should begin his speech, I would say, by making the argument that he is required to protect by his oath to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. And he is required by the oath that he took with his hand on the Bible to see to it that the laws are faithfully executed. And he, therefore, is required by that oath to defend the threats, the integrity of our election process against the threats to it that are presently visible. It is his obligation as president, if there is a threat to the integrity of our elections, it is his obligation to do what he can to defend it. And so he would say, I want to alert the American people to the importance of there being a willingness, regardless of the outcome, of everybody to accept the results of the election. And everybody includes whoever it is that loses it. In 2020, that didn't happen. And there's a way of talking about what Trump did, losing 60 cases in court, and whatever would be appropriate. But the point is to make that the American people, without speaking specifically about this candidate or that candidate, no need to mention names, but just say the refusal to accept defeat is contrary to the American tradition that obtained from the very beginnings in the 18th century all the way up to 2020, which is the only exception. This is not consistent with the Constitution, which requires the peaceful transfer of power, which has been the source of so many of the blessings. Anyway, the speech can be written by a speechwriter. But the idea is to alert the American people in a preemptive way to the outcome. If Kamala wins, Trump will claim that it was stolen. He's already visibly setting that up. And just like he did in 2020. And to give the people a perspective so that when if and when, and I think it's more of a when, Trump begins to tell the lies about that he didn't lose, it was stolen from him, that the American people already have a perspective to see it from. In the absence of evidence, such claims are an assault upon the American Constitution, which the President of the United States has taken an oath to defend. So it is an attack, an unwarranted denial of the validity of an election. And in 2020, Trump denied the validity, even though his own appointee, the expert, said it was the cleanest and most secure election in American history. Give the people a perspective on both on what it meant, what happened in 2020, which a lot of people apparently have forgotten, and what it would mean if he plays the same playbook again, as they already are showing signs of doing. They're already doing some of the stuff about the voting machines, and they're already doing immigrants voting illegally, which is almost a zero phenomenon. It's an old playbook, and there's a way for the president to alert the nation in a form that appears that can be presented as fulfilling his constitutional duty to defend the Constitution and to defend American democracy, because he's already been, when he was campaigning in 2022 and then before he got off the ticket, he was telling us this is a battle between democracy and fascism. And so he can sum it up that is, in fact, the nature of the battle. And even though people will say it's partisan for him to come down on the side of democracy and Kamala Harris rather than fascism and Donald Trump, it can be presented and sold as what the president is required to do in a showdown of this sort. But I do admit, whether or not they actually could bring it off so that it would be a net positive and wouldn't trigger something toxic into the situation where people would think that the president of the United States had inappropriately weighed in, I don't know. It could be a bad idea, but it could be a good idea. And I hope President Biden's people might do something like that. Okay, well, thank you. I'm Andy Schmuckler. My series is entitled A Better Human Story. And sometimes we talk about, very specific things like this, but what I really would like for people to check out is an integrated picture of the big thing of the story of humankind that I've got started in 1970 and with that book, The Parable of the Tribes, and now is on my website laid out as well as I can, a way of understanding what's happened to us as a species. It also relates to what we're dealing with here in America now. That battle between democracy and fascism can be seen as a contemporary manifestation of the kind of battle that's been at the heart of a human civilization, and inevitably would be because of a systemic dynamic that book, The Parable of the Tribes, lays out. So if that kind of thing would interest you, if it could be shown to be true, I invite you to check it out on betterhumanstory.org, and subscribe to my video series where I just present whatever of value I can find to share. And they all fit together if you look at it. There is a way of understanding our world. It's not just one damn thing after another. And regrettably, we live in an age where the desire or drive to see the order in the chaos is not sufficiently present. But I'm still hawking my wares about my Better Human Story. Thank you. I'll be back sometime soon. Bye-bye.